Well, I think the two issues that you're referring to are actually intimately interconnected. The problem with global governance today is that by emerging powers, the international financial institutions, but also international political institutions, are seen as an instrument of the West. They're seen as being instruments for the status quo powers to maintain a control over international developments. For right or wrong, that's part of the perception. That's, I think, also part of the reason why it's so difficult to make China and India responsible stakeholders in these international institutions, because it's very difficult for Western powers to give up their seats or their voting rights, or to include different permanent Security Council member seats when the current 5 obviously aren't representative of the current distribution of power. But at the same time, it has to do with the way in which liberal democracies are approaching this new era of multipolarity. And that is fundamentally from a status quo position, trying to maintain what we had. Because what's going on in the multipolar world is change. We don't know if it's going to benefit us or not. And this is what I think is also leading to popular confusion among the domestic electorate. I think you also see it in the rise of populism and isolationism, not only in the Netherlands or in Denmark, but also in France, in Italy, in the United States, in Sweden, in Finland. There is a growing concern, and we talked about it in the previous session, that what this multipolar world is doing is threatening whatever the West used to have. And that's one of the reasons why global governance is in the predicament it's in. The risk is, if we don't change it, it leads to a situation where new regional frameworks will start to be created, and they can only hamper the ability of the West to maintain some sort of shaping power. So it's somewhat like the famous uncle in the novel Il Gatto Pardo wrote, that if you want everything to change, or if you want everything to remain the same, everything must change. And that's really something when we talk about global governance and how to make that work.